Coming up on SUTV, we'll tell you about the Christmas sale on campus.
And we'll tell you about SUUSA's Shark Tank competition.
Welcome to SUTV News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Grace Schultz.
And I'm Colton Gordon. Thank You Giver Day, or Tag Day, is tomorrow. Tag Day is all about creating an opportunity for students to thank alumni, friends, faculty, and staff members who donate to the university. SUU wouldn't be where it is today without the support of the community. Tomorrow you can visit one of the 9 stations around campus between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. to write a thank you card to a donor to express your appreciation. With that, the SUU Annual Fund will be giving a $500 scholarship for those who participate. All you have to do is write a card, take a picture with the Tag Day sign around campus, and post it to Instagram with the hashtag #TBirdTagDay to be entered.
The testing center is one of many resources currently strained by the increase of students on campus. Our reporter Lizzie White talked to students about what should be done.
Southern Utah University's student body has grown at least 5% each year for the past 3 years. With an increase of students comes a need to expand resources on campus. One such resource that is currently being debated is the testing center.
The lines are too long. People have to wait a long time just to take a test, and it's just crowded in there. I don't like it at all.
The testing center has heard complaints regarding long lines, a lack of computers, and faculty misuse of its services. Running on $74,000 a year of education and general programs state-appropriated funds, as well as university revenue, the testing center will require an additional $50,000 a year to continue running as it does now. Student and faculty administrators are now trying to decide whether the testing center should remain in use. Supporters of the center have argued that students need the flexibility the testing center provides them with. Critics say that it is not helpful for most students and that they would rather have their tuition dollars at work elsewhere.
I really like it because I work, and my hours always change every week, and so being able to have the testing center and schedule my own tests is really helpful.
I think we should keep the testing center. It has lots of great resources and opportunities, such as the tutoring lab, plus you can go there and get extra help on just about everything else.
The testing center is actually pretty helpful because that way you don't have to be rushed.
But every time I go there, I have to wait 3 hours, and that's really annoying.
I'm a fan of taking tests in the classroom.
I don't think that the testing center is used as frequently as it should be to keep it running. I know that a lot of times there's maybe one test going on there, and then sometimes it's really busy. So if they found a way to more efficiently run the testing center, I think that would be useful. But I think that we can all just take tests in class like we have since kindergarten.
If the center stays on campus, new solutions for funding must be found. Some possibilities have included charging late test fees to students taking their test on the last day it is available, not allowing faculty proctored exams, and raising student fees. This prospect of raising fees has been met with mixed emotions from students and faculty.
I'd gratefully pay that if that means I can take the test whenever I need to.
I would support raising student fees in order to keep the testing center open.
I mean, it makes sense, but I also understand that students don't want more fees. So I'm always torn about more fees for things.
A lot of my teachers don't even have tests there, so if my student fees are going to a place that I don't have tests in, then it's kind of pointless.
If it's a substantial amount, then I guess just get rid of it because we're all just broke college students just trying to get by.
Charging the entire student body and taking funding away, which may not directly influence the students but indirectly influence the students, isn't okay. Now there's creating a student fee. So if we find a hybrid model where professors or departments are paying for the proctoring of these exams, I think it'd be a lot better.
One of the most popular social media apps is building an office in Utah. The Governor's Office of Economic Development announced a $2.5 million tax incentive for Snapchat to build an office in Utah. The new facility will be built somewhere along the Wasatch Front between Salt Lake City and Provo. Snapchat is expected to add 50 jobs, mostly engineers, over the next 15 years. Engineers at the Utah facility will be working on developing the app's camera technology and augmented reality.
SUUSA's annual Shark Tank competition is helping fund new water bottle stations on campus. The competition started nearly 2 months ago when SUU students submitted ideas to improve SUU. The submissions were narrowed down to 3 finalists who presented to the judges today in the living room. Drea Briggs, a construction technology major, pitched the idea of adding more water bottle refilling stations to campus. Currently, there are 14 water bottle refilling stations on campus. Briggs suggested adding 4 more units. Buying and installing the additional units would cost around $2,500. Briggs's idea beat out a Student Success Night event and a proposal to increase the wattage of campus light bulbs to win the competition.
November 16th, the SU bookstore will be holding its annual holiday sale. The bookstore will be extending its hours from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. A ton of items throughout the store will be on sale. This is open to the public, so don't miss your chance to get some SU memorabilia at 30% off.
30% off. You can buy yourself a nice ugly Christmas sweater. You see they're selling
They have ugly Christmas sweaters over there?
They're like ugly cute. I wouldn't call them like super
okay,
ugly.
well none of them are actually ugly. That's what they say. We're gonna have an ugly sweater contest and then everyone wears like the nicest sweaters of all time.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a Star Wars one. Like that's not even ugly.
No, that's just a Star Wars sweater.
But it can like win, so I don't understand the whole idea
behind ugly sweaters. That's fair.
Because they're not even ugly.
Okay.
Whatever.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about a recent bomb threat at the Cedar City Walmart.
And we'll fill you in on the church shooting in Texas. Stay tuned.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore is being asked to withdraw from the December special election. Moore is accused of sexually assaulting 2 women in the late 1970s when he was 32. At the time, the women were 14 and 16. The story broke last Thursday in the Washington Post in an article claiming Moore had also dated 3 other underage girls around the same time period. House Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called on Moore to step down yesterday, saying, quote, "I believe the women," end quote. Senators John McCain and Ted Cruz have also withdrawn their endorsements of Moore. In a press conference Monday night, Moore said he had no intention of withdrawing from the election and is planning to sue the Washington Post.
Cedar City Walmart is open again after a bomb threat last Sunday afternoon. A Walmart employee reported 2 men arguing in an RV on the northwest side of the parking lot at 2:30 p.m. Sunday. The employee approached the men and one of them told the employee he had a bomb in the van. The building was immediately evacuated. The St. George Bomb Squad cleared the building around 3 hours later. The 2 men were taken into custody, but no charges are being filed. Police say one of the suspects was experiencing a mental health crisis and the threat was taken out of context.
The trial for the man accused of starting the Bryan Head fire is scheduled for early next year. Robert Ray Lyman's lawyer requested a 3-day jury trial for his client. Lyman pled not guilty to starting the fire in early October. Lyman is charged with 2 misdemeanors, 1 count for reckless burning and another for failing to obtain a permit. If convicted, Lyman could face up to 18 months in jail and a $3,500 fine. The Bryan Head fire started on June 17th next to Lyman's cabin on Highway 143.
The cause of a shooting at a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas is still undergoing investigation today. 26 people were killed and another 20 injured when a gunman opened fire at the First Baptist Church during their Sunday service. The gunman has now been identified as Devin Kelly. Kelly entered through the back of the building and fired until he got to the front. He then continued shooting on his way out of the church. Outside the church, Kelly was shot by a bystander. He then led the man and another bystander on a car chase. The gunman crashed his car and was found dead by police a few hours later. Officials say the shooting was not racially or religiously motivated. Victims of the shooting range between the ages of 18 months and 77 years old. Pretty interesting look there. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Even in Cedar City, you see the bomb, and then on a little bit of a national level, the shooting.
The bomb threat was just like, I was so blown away. I was like, what? Cedar City? And then nationally. And also, I guess it's sort of weird that they were both on a Sunday, because I think in my mind, I'm just like, Sundays are so...
Sunday's the day off.
Yeah, a day off of doing terrible things, but not last week.
Apparently not for those type of people.
Apparently not last week.
I was actually at Tropical Smoothie. My friend showed me the news of the bomb, and I really couldn't fathom. Then you see across the parking lot all the tape.
All the tape.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Great.
Right.
Before the break, Amy gives us a look at today's weather.
And later, Dan will give us another update in sports. Stay tuned.
Hi, T-Birds. Stay tuned to the weather segment to find out if we can go skiing soon.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Hi, T-Birds. I'm Amy Andre, and welcome to the weather segment. It's November 14th, and we still have no sign of snow. Today's high is 63, and the low is 31. And tomorrow, the high is 65 with a low of 42. I'm enjoying this nice warm weather, but it might be bad news for season pass holders at Bryan Head. Their opening date was November 17th, but no longer can be done. So stay tuned on the Bryan Head website to see when their new opening date will be. In other news, Pyeongchang, South Korea is the place for the Winter Olympics of 2018, and they are also seeing no snow. Their weather is a high 40s, but hopefully in the months to come they will be seeing some snow so they can prep for the Winter Olympics. Also, if you're planning on going, we were looking at flights earlier, and a flight to Pyeongchang, South Korea was over $5,000 and 43 hours of flying. So throwing it back to you guys at the desk, you guys planning on going to Pyeongchang, South Korea?
I think I'm going to work my way up to South Korea. I just went to Oregon for the first time this weekend.
So yeah, it's going to be a while before.
Oregon might be a little bit in the future.
Yeah, I think South Korea is a big step for you.
Yeah,
maybe try to go to the East Coast.
Yeah, I just flew to Salt Lake and then to Oregon, so maybe work my way there.
Yeah, I wouldn't try and stress yourself out by, going too far. I think it'd be way cool to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, but still, $5,000 if you want a plane ticket right now to go to South Korea
I don't
for the
have
Olympics.
$5,000 ever.
To go watch some skiing? That's not in your budget?
I actually really like figure skating, you want to know? That's probably the event I would watch the most. Also, just Shaun White generally. I would watch him do whatever he was doing.
He kills no matter what he does.
So I think that would be worth it. But I don't have $5,000,
no,
so
definitely not.
They're trying to bring them back to Salt Lake. They're trying to bring them.
They're going to LA, the Summer Olympics in 2022.
That's not far. I could maybe make it to LA.
That's very close.
Yeah, you could.
I could
go to LA. You
That's
live
way
there,
within
so
my
I would
scope.
imagine you could do that.
Thanks for the weather update, Amy.
Dan, what do you have next for us in sports?
We got a lot, and my hair may be sticking out right now, but that doesn't mean there's nothing coming up in sports today. Here's a scoop of what happened this weekend on campus and far away from campus. Don't go anywhere.
Listen up. Each year, hundreds of promising research studies go unfunded for breast cancer, for lung cancer, every cancer. The American Cancer Society has been behind nearly every breakthrough in recent history. But there's still more work to do. So let's make sure that no research is silenced. Let's make noise. Let's make noise. Yeah. And let's finish the fight.
Toxic chemicals and carcinogens are leaching into the environment. It's happening right where we live, work, and play. Everywhere. Cigarette butts are toxic waste. Let's stop the toxic litter. Learn more at rethinkbutts.org.
I'm hungry. I can't see the board.
Good morning, class. Everyone ready to learn today?
Of course they aren't ready. Across America, health barriers keep millions of disadvantaged school children from learning. Children's Health Fund is working to remove those barriers. But to really change the odds for these kids, we need your help. To find out how you can give every child a chance to be healthy and ready to learn, visit childrenshealthfund.org today.
Welcome to this Tuesday edition of SU Sports. We've been in November for a week now. My face is getting scruffier by the minute, and down to business we go. All right, SUU took on the California Davis Aggies on Saturday, and here's a look at how these two teams squared off. All right, here we go. Takes a snap, fires. Oh, he catches it in the end zone. That's a touchdown. That's Daubs. And it's good. And the T-Birds are on the board first, but they didn't stop there. All right, so here's another one. Tyler, he'll toss it. Oh, it's a fake, and it's going to be a touchdown for number 17. And that's going to be a two-touchdown game now for the Thunderbirds. And, all right, here we go, next play. And then he'll fire to the big guy. And he goes to the 30, 25, and it's going to be a first down, indeed. Wow. Hands off to Green, and he dives. No signal yet. Yeah! It's a touchdown for the Thunderbirds. It's 3-touchdown game now. And now here's the next highlight. And oh, the punter dropped it. And he'll have it blocked. It's going to the end zone. And that's another safety for the Thunderbirds. Wow, goodness gracious. Here we go. And Tyler fires it deep. And Rutledge with both feet in bounds is a touchdown. And the Thunderbirds are pouring it on there. And here, next play. And then Tyler, he's got time. He's looking. And he avoids a sack there. And he keeps going. Fires it deep. It's caught. And it's going to be a first down for the Thunderbirds. And that's not the end of that drive. Not the end of that chapter at all. It was 9 minutes left. He'll fire it over to number 13, Tyler Rutledge. And he breaks the tackle, and there he goes. Past midfield. He's going to get more than that. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. And that's how you make touchdowns, folks. And that's how the game was recapped. The Thunderbirds scored a 47-27 win over the Aggies as they have a chance to soar into the playoffs as they take on the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks on Saturday in a game that decides the winner of the Big Sky Championship and also a possible first bye in the playoffs. They are the 14th ranked team in the poll, a feat they have never reached before. They are hoping for a higher ranking, but they'll have to earn it first, as you know. In other news, the basketball team wasn't as fortunate as they lost to two well-known schools, and these schools being the Oregon State Beavers and Boise State Broncos on the road. They tried to follow up their exhibition win over Concordia, but were unable to keep up with high-scoring drives done by both teams, and even a buzz beater by the Beavers to cap off a half. The Birds are now 0-2 on the season, but are hoping to get back in it when they take on the San Jose State Spartans this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. in the American First Event Center. Also, women's basketball met a similar fate when they dropped a heartbreaker to the BYU Cougars on Friday by the final score of 75-67 in overtime. Winnie Johnson still led the T-Birds with 12 points scored on the night, most of all the ladies in the game. There was a three-way tie for 10 points on the night, all behind Johnson, Brianna Reed, Payne Torgerson, and Natalie Sanchez in that order, all capitalized all in the T-Birds game as well. They try to get their act back together as they take on the San Diego Toreros tonight in San Diego, where they hope they can stay classy. And finally, in cross-country news, the team successfully qualified for the NCAA Championships in Louisville, which take place on Saturday to cap off a solid season where they competed in many races over the last 2 months. They were one of many teams that got in, and this is their 4th year in a row, and are hoping to get a solid finish under their belt. They're ranked as high as 6th this season, and that's pretty good. And, well, unfortunately, that is all for SU and Everywhere Sports on this Tropical Taco Tuesday. And until next time, boy! Hey, guys, I saw Daddy's 2 Home last Saturday. Did you see any flicks this weekend?
Boss Baby.
You watched Boss Baby.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was all right. Free movies on the plane.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was great.
Thanks for the update, Dan. Coming up, we'll tell you about the recent Guitars Unplugged event.
And we'll tell you about SUU's Thanksgiving Homes program. Stay tuned.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Cancer will strike more than 175,000 kids worldwide this year alone. The likelihood that teens and young adults will survive cancer is far greater when treated by pediatric oncologists. Survival can depend on experts in childhood cancer and collaborative groundbreaking research. To learn how you can help keep these kids in play, go to stbaldrick's.org/inplay or standuptocancer.org/pediatrics.
Don't forget, the registration period for classes next semester has begun as of last week. Students with the class standing of senior, junior, and sophomore can already register for classes, and tomorrow the period for freshmen is opening up at 8 a.m. Make sure to check with your academic advisors if you have any holds or questions about registration. And also remember that classes fill up fairly quickly, so don't put off registering until the last second.
The Cedar City Temple is officially open. The 17th Utah Temple opened on October 27th and drew over 18,000 people in its first weekend. The temple opening is expected to draw as many as 200,000 people over 3 weeks. The new temple is 42,000 square feet and features woodwork and art from around the world. The temple is open for public viewing until November 18th. The official dedication is on December the 10th, and tours of the temple during the open house are already full, but walk-ins are welcome. For more information, go to lds-church-temples.org.
The 2017 election results are in. Cedar City Mayor Miley Wilson won a second term in a landslide victory over opponent Ryan Durfee. Wilson won 75% of votes in Cedar City, while Durfee carried 25%. In the Cedar City Council race, incumbent Ron Adams held on to his seat by 37 votes, while former Utah Shakespeare Festival director Scott Phillips secured the second seat with 40% of the votes. In statewide races, Provo Mayor John Curtis won the hotly contested seat in the 3rd Congressional District. Curtis beat Democrat Kathy Allen and the newly created United Utah Party candidate Jim Bennett to fill Jason Chaffetz's empty seat. Curtis was sworn in as the newest Utah representative on Monday.
Last week, Bread and Soup Night was hosted at Thunder 91's Guitars Unplugged competition. Our reporter Matthew House got us a story.
Mose Kwan, a South Korean accounting student, is the winner of Guitars Unplugged.
I have been playing guitar for 5 years. I just practice by myself and I've never learned, so I just studied here guitar by the general class. I have never expected that it's my first competition, and I got first prize, and actually I was very nervous, so I couldn't play very well because my finger was shaking.
Mose Kwan and his technical ability. They were saying that he was showing technique that you can rarely see, so they were really happy with the decision and awarding him the $1,000 guitar package from Whittlesticks.
First place, his technicality on his instrumentation was just a little bit higher than the second place. So that's why he got higher points on that.
There were 10 SUU students and Cedar City community members competing to win a $1,000 value Canadian guitar donated by sponsor Whittlesticks.
But overall, all the way 1 to 10, it wasn't as big of a difference as it's been in the past when I've judged. And that was pretty impressive this year, that it was so close all across the board. There wasn't a big gap.
Cal Rollins, manager of KSU Thunder 91.1, said, "We love doing this to give SUU students and community members a chance to perform and also for them to share their music, as well as to share non-perishable food with needy SUU students through the food pantry."
SUU's title as the University of the Parks may be a lot more expensive next year. The Trump administration announced last week it is considering huge entrance fee increases to 4 southern Utah parks. The price hike would make it $70 per car, $50 per motorcycle, and $30 per person. Fees at Arches, Canyonlands, Bryce Canyon, and Zion will all go up. The increased fee would be charged during the busiest season at the parks, most likely from May to September. The proposed increase is meant to help offset growing costs of maintaining national parks that are seeing more and more visitors every year. Raising the entrance fee could also help offset President Donald Trump's reduction of the National Park Service's budget. The 30-day comment period on the proposal is open from now until November 23rd.
Astronomers are shocked as a new planet discovery breaks news. Planet NGTS-1b was recently discovered by a group of international collaborative researchers. The researchers found the planet to be 986 degrees hot and orbiting in close proximity to its star, M Dwarf. The star and planet are located 600 light-years away in the Milky Way galaxy. Record-breaking, the planet is reported to be the size of Jupiter and the largest planet compared to the size of its star to ever be found.
This year, the SUU community is reaching out to T-Birds who aren't able to go home for the holiday. Different community members are opening up their homes to make sure everyone has a good holiday. You can sign up on your SUU portal to be paired with a family in town. This is open to all SUU students.
Dan, I know you're getting ready for this Taco Tuesday. How excited are you?
Really stoked right now, man. My stomach is calling.
How many are you going to put away?
Well, I think I'm hoping for a maximum of 5.
5?
Wow.
That's all you got?
I think you should go to Taco Tuesday, though, rather than go get Taco Bell tacos like you usually do.
Del Taco is 3 for $1. That is literally robbery.
These are free tacos.
Way.
Wait, free?
I wish they were free.
They're not free?
I thought they're free.
Well, maybe they could be free, but I'm not really 100% sure.
They're free.
I'll check on that.
It's because it's student programming board, so it's free tacos in the ballroom.
They're going to let you eat as many as you want, though?
I don't know about as many as you want. They might be like 2 taco limit.
Oh,
I think you can do that. You do a 2 taco limit.
2 tacos.
Or, well, maybe it depends on the amount
If
of
it's
people
only 2 tacos, then that is just a waste of my time.
Then it's not worth it.
Me and my brother are actually making dinner for his wife tonight.
Oh, okay. What are you making?
I saw a video on Facebook, one of the tasty videos.
Okay.
I love those videos a lot, so we're going to try some out.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they don't ever work as well as I want them to. That's my
One
problem.
time it's come out really good, but every other time.
Every other time it's been real not good, which I don't enjoy. But I like the idea because I can never think of something creative to make for dinner.
And it's always like the most simple stuff that you just can't think of.
Yeah, and then they're like, you can make this with just a can of biscuits. You're like, great,
oh, wow.
thanks.
Stay away from biscuits, though. Would not recommend.
That did not work, if I recall correctly. Thanks for tuning in. That's all we have for you today. I'm Grace Schultz.
I'm Dan Lopper.
And I'm Colton Gordon. Thanks for taking the time to tune in this afternoon.
Boy.
I don't think John Smith will let us do that anymore.
I think John Smith, now
we have
John
to do it.